Welcome to the BroadStreet Sports Podcast NFL Draft Recap. Today we'll be recapping all the draft picks over the weekend, who we think lost and won the draft overall, and what we thought of the draft in general. You want to get started?
Sure. So, the NFL draft just finished up this weekend. We had some teams who did very well, and some teams who really
could have done better.
Yeah, they really could have done better. So, how would you like to start off? Would you like to start talking about who we believe won and lost the draft, or just surprises?
I just want to go over the top 10 picks because those were pretty exciting. First pick, not to everybody's surprise, it was Bryce Young. It was either going to be him or C.J. Stroud. I just think the Panthers like Young a little bit more than Stroud, and they weren't going to get a bad quarterback either way.
Yeah.
And then the aforementioned C.J. Stroud, he went number 2 to the Texans. That surprised me a little bit because I thought they were going to go defense because of the reports that came out, but I guess they really don't care. And hey, they got their franchise guy. They don't have to worry about getting a quarterback in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Sorry about kind of interrupting you.
You're fine.
But with the Texans, because I know they were saying that they didn't want to draft a quarterback just to draft a quarterback. I can understand that, but you also need a quarterback.
And this draft, it's not going to be like this draft's every year.
Yeah.
There was a couple guys in this draft that could be generational talents, and say the Colts got C.J. Stroud, I feel like that would haunt them for the. He would haunt him for the rest of his career.
And it worked out because at number 3 they got Will Anderson Jr. So,
but that was a huge trade by the Cardinals. They got a lot, but the Texans, they seem committed because now they got their captain on offense with C.J. Stroud, and then they got their captain on defense with Will Anderson.
Yeah.
What do you expect? Their new head coach, in that fact, D'Amico Ryan's the defensive guy, so he was going to try to get defense either with that 12th pick, or he traded up and got it with a third. But then we have number 4 of the Colts. They get their guy, Anthony Richardson. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that one? That pick.
I had Anthony Richardson going to the Seahawks, so because I had Will Levis going to the Colts.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
Yeah, I had Will Levis going to the Colts. So I don't want to say I'm completely shocked because I knew they were drafting a quarterback. If it wasn't Will Levis, I knew it was going to be Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
So I'm not that surprised, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It shocked me a little bit.
Yeah, it was interesting, and I like it for them personally. They finally get their quarterback, and he's the kind of guy that you can maybe start Gardner Minshew to start the year, but then he's gonna start sometime this year.
I have Minshew starting for the first 3 games.
First 3 games,
yeah,
and then I don't even know if they'll have any wins by then.
Probably.
I don't know.
Well,
anything's possible at this
the Colts,
point.
Texans, and Panthers, they're all in rebuild season, so
yeah.
I have the Panthers going 9-8, and the Texans, they'll probably have about 7 wins.
Yeah, 7 and 10.
And the Colts probably won't do any better. So
yeah, but Anthony Richardson, he's gonna be a boomer bust prospect. But if he booms, if he turns out to be well, his ceiling is so high. I see a prime Cam Newton in his future if he can turn out to be the quarterback that the Colts took him at at number 4. And then the Seahawks, this was a surprise to me. But hey, they got the best corner in the class in Devin Witherspoon.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to rebuild that Legion of Boom 2.0.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that pick?
I thought they were going to take Jalen Carter.
I know, Jalen Carter's still on the board at 5. You can't pass that up, but
I think they definitely wanted to take a risk, and they did. So, I'm not saying he'll do bad.
It's not a risk, I think, because Witherspoon's the best corner in the class, and you're just adding to the secondary.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I see it more as a risk because, Jalen Carter is he's probably the best defensive player, and he was still on the board, so.
Yeah, that's okay, but hey, at least you got the best. Devin Witherspoon's the best at his position.
Yeah, he definitely is.
He was the best draft pick at his position. Yeah. And then the Cardinals, then they trade up with the Lions and go get an offensive tackle for whenever Kyler Murray comes back and Paris Johnson, which I thought I had Peter Skoronski over Paris Johnson, but I guess they liked Johnson a lot more even to go trade up for him and take him at number 6.
Yeah, for one, the Cardinals were still at number 3 for me. third round pick, and I had them taking Will Anderson Jr.
Yeah,
and then they traded down. So.
But they got a good haul in return.
Yeah,
and their team's still gonna stink this year, and one player wasn't gonna change that. So.
Yeah, that whole franchise is a dumpster fire. I'm pretty sure they're gonna be the worst team in the league. I'm like pretty confident in that.
Yeah, and then the Raiders. Round of applause. And then they finally picked they finally made a good pick at the right time. Like you've seen in years past, they drafted need, but they drafted the wrong guy. Tyree Wilson was a need for them, and he was the type of guy that could do great on their defense. And now he's gonna line up next to Max Crosby, he's gonna get a lot of double teams, which that's gonna have a lot of opportunities for Tyree Wilson to succeed and get a lot of sacks. Which I like that pick for the Raiders very much because they finally drafted the right player. Having that need, and they drafted the player that they should have drafted over anybody else. Like, let's say if they drafted Lucas Van Ness or Will McDonald, that would have been a major reach. Like, they picked the right guy for that position. So
I think he'll do good. I also know the Raiders are like infamous for picking first round picks and then them being a bust. Like they just do nothing with their careers.
But this guy I see potential in because he was actually the best edge rusher left. So. Let's talk about the Falcons. They made an interesting position. They made an interesting choice. A guy, a lot of Eagles fans, including me, wanted. Logan, on the other hand, he didn't want it, but he didn't mind it at the same time. Falcons took Bijan Robinson from Texas.
Shucks. What are you gonna do? It's a real shame, man.
But what are they doing? They already had Cordell Patterson, and they had Tyler Aguilar, who was a 1,000-yard rusher last year. Like, how stupid and idiotic could they be to take Bijan Robinson at 8?
I mean, it's not that I'm up. I don't know. I think that guy is gonna get hurt really soon.
Yeah, because they don't even have a quarterback. Their quarterbacks are Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke, and you're like, who do we take? A franchise quarterback or a third running back? Let's take the third running back. Yeah. It's a classic Falcons pick.
Bro, he'll be the quarterback. Yeah. He's got back in the name, They're thinking ahead. They're thinking out of the box.
Yeah, they're gonna run the Wildcat formation every play with Bijan.
Yep, definitely are. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I think they're idiots. There are so many other players they could have taken, and they take a running back. But I mean, I don't know. I don't really care. I didn't really want him. Yeah, not my problem.
It's okay though. And then the Eagles.
Yeah, let's go Eagles. Yeah, I love them. I got Jalen Carter, the guy I actually wanted. Yeah. Let's go.
They traded up and got Jalen Carter. Only one pick. They only gave up pretty much a 4th-round pick. Yeah, I know. For him to fall that far. That's scary for the rest of the league for him to fall that far. Especially, I know he had those legal issues going, but the Eagles are seeming to look past that, and they're looking at the skill of the player there. And I like the pick, so I can't complain.
Some God's looking down on us. Just like if there is a God, he definitely did it.
Yeah,
it's the inner workings. He dropped that far.
Yeah. What do you think of the pick overall?
Oh, let's fucking go. That was tough. I was so happy. As soon as I saw the Falcons take Bijan Robinson, I was like 85% sure.
Yeah, and then when we traded off for Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, we're getting Jalen Carter. Let's go.
I was like, if we took Lucas Van Ness, there's something bad happening to that TV in front of it.
I would have walked away.
Yeah.
I would have became like.
Or I did not want an offensive lineman either. I did not want Darnell Wright, Peter Skoronski, Broderick Jones. I wanted a defensive guy because, think about it, Fletcher Cox is on a 1-year contract. He's gone after this year. I think no matter what, he either leaves or retires. So you get another guy next to Jordan Davis who could be a young pass rushing duo for years to come.
I think what the Eagles are doing, because Fletcher Cox got signed for 1 more year. I think what they are going to do is they knew what they were going to do with the draft. So I think they signed him for 1 more year
to get one more body in there, and then also give some veteran experience to Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter.
So like Fletcher Cox, I'm sure he'll start. I don't think he'll start every game, but he'll start a good few. But I think they just want him to be there to kind of show the new guys coming in because there's a lot of them. He's gonna show the new guys and share some life experiences with them. So that's why that's my leering suspicion of why they re-signed because I actually thought he was gonna retire this year and not come back.
He almost went to the Jets. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. What?
Yeah, he almost signed with when he was a free agent. The Jets gave him a call, and they were offering him more money, and he said, "No, I'm going to return back to the Eagles for less money."
Yeah, I guess, like...
Because that's the thing. With these type of players that are homegrown, like Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, they would rather take the discount to stay where they've been most of their career than go to a new team, a new system. So
they also know, and it's also just like the fact they're both old, and
they could get some great veteran experience to these young guys coming in, like Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Nolan Smith.
Yeah, I think Brendan Graham and Fletcher Cox are pretty much just doing the Eagles like a favor. I mean, they're getting paid still, but it's just like, well, we could have retired, but we'll help you guys out, and then when we retire, you guys will have our replacements good and ready.
And then with the final pick of the top 10, the Bears took Darnell Wright, which, to my surprise, I did not expect that. I had them in every draft taking Peter Skoronski, because I think he was the better prospect. But I guess they saw something in Darnell Wright that they liked more than Skoronski, which that's the Bears general manager and their front office, their opinion. But I would have rather taken Skoronski than Darnell Wright. But I don't hate the pick because they needed offensive line for Justin Fields. They already got him a number one receiver in the DJ Moore trade. Yeah. So getting Darnell Wright helps Justin Fields in the long run with protection, but I just would have taken Skoronski over him. But like I said, it's an offensive lineman for Fields.
I think at the end of the day, they just wanted to take an offensive lineman, and Wright just asked for less. Because, I mean, Peter Skoronski, I mean, he's really good, and he knows that. Yeah. So he was probably asking for more money. I mean, they're rookies, but... Yeah. I mean, they're rookies, so they can't ask for that much, but I also know the Bears are running out of cap space. Yeah. So
even though they did have a good amount.
I don't know, I think he'll do good. Like, he's... What pick was he even at?
Who? Skoronski?
No, Wright.
Right, he was number 10 to the Bears.
No, I meant, like... Never mind, yeah. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. But that was a quick recap of the top 10. Before we get into the winners and losers in the draft, who do you think the biggest steal was in the first round?
The biggest steal? In the first round?
Yeah.
I don't know, though, because there were a couple, like, really weird ones. That, like...
We'll get into those, but...
Yeah.
Just, like, a guy you expected to go higher, but, like, dropped a lot.
Yeah, I mean...
But it could turn into something great.
I think...
I have a player in mind.
Who dropped... Alright, so a good player who... Alright, so... I thought Will Levis was going to go in the first round.
No, me too. I was like...
I'm going to mention...
When I knew exactly when he didn't go to the Colts, he was going to go all the way down.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to say him, and I'm going to say Nolan Smith, just because I want to mention it a little bit. But he should have went a little higher. I don't remember when I
had him going number 8 to the Falcons in my mock draft, and he dropped all the way to 30. Yeah. Like... That's great for the Eagles. They got two guys who Jalen Carter probably should have been the first defensive player off the board. He got picked. Yeah. And then Nolan Smith, a guy who could have gone easily in the top 15, dropped all the way to 30 for the Eagles to take. So
yeah, I mean...
And then one more question, like before I get into winners and losers. Who do you think a guy that, like, his draft stock jumped super high, like a guy you didn't expect to go, but went way, way earlier than he should have?
I'm going to say Devin Witherspoon.
Witherspoon, really?
Yeah, I mean, like, he's not bad, but I had the Seahawks taking Jalen Carter. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying Witherspoon's bad, but I didn't have him going at 5. I had him more or less go... I think I either had him going to, like, the Lions. Yeah. I don't know. I had him, like, in between, like... I don't remember where I had him, but I didn't have him going, like, top 10. Yeah. I had him more, like, in between, like, a little higher than 20.
Mm-hmm. My player is Jahmyr Gibbs. He went way, way too early for... Did you hear the report that came out? No. If the Lions didn't trade back, they thought they said they might have taken Jahmyr Gibbs at 6.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There was a report that came out after the draft. Right after the first round. If they didn't trade back to number 12, they might have taken Jahmyr Gibbs at 6. So that makes the situation even worse. But I've brought this up to people. I think what Dan Campbell is trying to do is get what he had in New Orleans with Sean Payton, because he was part of the Sean Payton trees. Yeah. And what were the Saints so successful at when Dan Campbell was there? They had 2 running backs. They had Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram, the dynamic duo in New Orleans. That's what they're trying to build in Detroit. Yeah. And Jahmyr Gibbs...
It's a winning strategy.
Jahmyr Gibbs would be their Alvin Kamara, and David Montgomery, the guy they signed in free agency, would be their Mark Ingram. So that's what made DeAndre Swift expendable. Yeah. and he was dealt to the Philadelphia Eagles, which I think is a great trade for the Eagles.
I'm not complaining. Tough.
And then I want to bring up one person that I think fell a lot too before we get into the winners and losers. Jackson Smith and Jigba. He fell all the way. If I'm the Seahawks, they had an A+ draft. They got the best. They might have not taken the guys they needed, but they got Devin Witherspoon at 5, the best corner in the draft. And then they got Jackson Smith and Jigba, the best receiver in the draft, number 20 overall. So Geno Smith is locked in with targets now. He's got Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Noah Fant, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. That is a great offense. And he's got Kenneth Walker in the backfield. So if I'm the Seahawks, I'm not complaining about the draft in the first round pretty much in general.
Yeah.
So let's get into, I want you to give me, let's say, 2 winners of the draft and 2 losers of the draft. You can go in any order you want. You can go winner, loser. What are you going to do first? Do you want to go 2 losers and then 2 winners, or like back and forth?
I want to do 2 winners first.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to put the Eagle. I believe the Eagles won the draft.
Yeah.
We pretty much just took the entirety of Georgia's defense, and I'm not
the Philadelphia Bulldogs.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not complaining of that. It's great. I mean, those are really good players, and I mean that was a really good defense.
Yeah.
And they're reconnecting with guys that are already on the Eagles team. I think it's also great because you got to look a little bit deeper. There's definitely a reason why he just took Georgia people, because he didn't have to do that. Howie Roseman didn't have to do that. He did that because these guys already have a bond.
Yeah.
So it's like they already know how to play with each other. They already know each other. So really, the only thing that changes is the team. They're just going to a new team. The only difference. And then another winner, I think it was the Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Steelers, they really filled in some holes. They got the tight end. I don't remember his name. They have Joey Porter as a new corner, and they have what's his face. They drafted somebody else I liked.
I think it was tight end Darnell Washington. They drafted Darnell Washington.
Oh, and Broderick
from Georgia.
And Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
So I think all 3 of those players will do really good. I don't know. I think the Steelers did good too.
All right. What about your 2 losers?
Oh, the losers. Honestly, the Cowboys. They did not do good.
Yeah.
That was good.
I can't even lie.
I'm not gonna go into details.
Yeah, if you watch the draft, you know the Cowboys, they didn't have the best draft. When do they ever have the best draft?
Yeah.
Really? They maybe get a first round hit, but then after that, it's like they picked the weirdest guys. Like they took a tight end, Michael Shoemaker, over I think Darnell Washington. Like I don't know. That's the Cowboys for you, making dumb decisions.
Yeah, and then I don't know. It hurts me to say this, but I'm gonna have to say the Lions. I don't know, because as a Lions fan, I like the Lions, but I don't know. Just watching them draft, I was just I felt
they were taking some weird picks. They took Jack Campbell, a guy who should have gone in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
And then they took Jahmyr Gibbs, a running back, who went way too early for my liking.
So I don't know. I just felt disappointed, I guess, to an extent. So I don't know. Those are my 4. Yeah. What about you?
My 2 winners are the Eagles and Texans, respectively.
Yeah.
I say the Eagles because they got guys like Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Kelly Ringo. They got Sidney Brown, Tyler Steen. Those guys both in the 3rd round, back-to-back picks, respectively. And then they traded for a guy named DeAndre Swift on day 3. You thought guys like D-Hop, Buda Baker, these guys were going to get dealt. But DeAndre Swift was really the only guy to get traded a player to get traded in a deal. And we got a young 24-year-old running back from the University of Georgia.
Yeah, I was waiting for
and he is from Philly. Did you know that?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was kind of waiting for I know he wasn't going to go to the Eagles, but I was waiting for DeAndre Hopkins to get traded. Not to the Eagles. I had him going to I don't know. I think
the Chiefs or the Bills.
Yeah, I had him going to the Chiefs. I think he would do better.
And then my 2 losers, the Lions. They're gonna. They were number 1 loser in my opinion. Wow, they took weird. Why do you take Jahmyr Gibbs when you already have David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift? You could have got Jackson Smith and Jigba, another receiver for Jared Goff to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
And then you took Jack Campbell, a linebacker. You could have took Nolan Smith, Miles Murphy, can't think. Brian Breeze, Jack Campbell, I had going in the second round, and then my second loser, the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. Why do you take a running back at number 8 overall?
You're just upset they took BJ from you.
A tiny bit. But I've got over the fact that they took Bijan, and I'm completely fine with it. If you want to ruin his career, go ahead. If he was going to probably be in the best offensive line, one of the had the best quarterbacks, but instead he's going to the Falcons, who they don't even have a quarterback. They don't even know who their quarterback is going into next year. It's either going to be Taylor Heineke or Desmond Ritter. And then the offensive line, it's just a bunch of crap.
I'm telling you, B.J. Robinson is going to be their quarterback. They're thinking outside the box.
And then can I give you one more winner? It's not a team. It's Lamar Jackson. It's Lamar Jackson. Think about it.
Of the draft.
He got paid, and he got a receiver in Zay Flowers.
All right, I guess. So
I don't want to say as a winner of the draft because that wasn't technically a team. It was Lamar being a winner in general.
All right, so I'm just gonna put that down as the Ravens on some level. Yeah.
All right, and now to end it off for this draft recap, what did you think of the draft overall in general?
It kept me entertained.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, when I watch sports, that's the main goal, is to be entertained. Because I don't usually bet money on anything. Not. I don't do much fantasy only because I think
the best thing to bet on is playoff games for sure. If you were to bet on playoff games, for example, the NBA games, these series coming up, which we'll get into on Thursday.
Yeah.
These series that are happening right now, if you do bet, those are games you're going to bet on because those are going to be interesting games to bet on. Bets inside the game and outside, those are the type of games you want to bet on. Playoff games, regular season, it's a 50-50 chance, but you have a bigger chance of winning in playoff games because you're getting the excitement and then possibly the chance of even winning more money. So, but getting back to your point, go ahead.
Yeah, so with sports, I always like to be entertained. I always want to see my team win, but it's I always like when games are kind of closer. But I look for entertainment. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason I watch sports. So, I mean, to see the draft be entertaining because, like I said, immediately in the beginning, the Cardinals traded with the Texans. I wasn't expecting that.
I was a shocker. I was okay, the Texans got their guy. It should be interesting to see who they get at 12. I'm the Texans are back up again. Wow. Yeah. That was the trade of the draft. First round. You always get one of those, and now it's just bang.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting. It was interesting.
And the Cardinals, they're set up with picks. They have 2 first-round picks next year, which would be huge for them.
I know. And, I mean, I don't know. I felt entertained, and the Eagles did really well, so that's also what kind of matters to me.
The draft usually never disappoints.
Yeah.
But did you hear about Roger Goodell, though?
No, what happened?
They haven't re-signed him to his contract yet, so possibly that could be his final. This could be his final NFL draft. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't know.
Or the real thing is, do you really like the guy or not really?
I don't really have an opinion on him. I don't really give a crap about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's he's
weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't hate him, but I don't love him either. He's just kind of there. But what about you? How are you feeling about the draft? How did you feel about it?
I think the Eagles came out as not only a winner, but a clear winner over everybody else. They put the league on notice. They just went to the Super Bowl last year, and they had an A+ draft. What does that tell you?
We're going back. That's what it got.
Yeah, I like that. No, definitely, but
I think that
draft showed us a lot, and it helped us towards the future, getting guys that are not necessarily needs, but guys who are getting older, and I love it. They're comparing Nolan Smith to Hassan Reddick. And we have Hassan Reddick on the team,
bro. I mean, I would be hyped with that duo. That's a great duo. I think with this draft, because with the draft, there's always a risk that these people will be duds. Mm-hmm. And I don't think any of the kids or any of the players that we drafted will necessarily be duds. They might have an off season where they just do all right, but still, there's so many of them. I don't think all of them are gonna suck. So I don't know. I think this draft makes us the best team on paper in the NFL, at least.
I think in the NFC we're already the best team.
Oh well, that was even before the draft. We were the best team.
Yeah.
Our offense carried that, and our defense. Yeah. But we fixed it. We filled in our holes. That's all I wanted in the draft. I just wanted to draft purely defense.
Mm-hmm. You got any more points? Anything else you want to really talk about, or?
No, I'm all good. You?
Nope, I'm good. So that was our quick little recap of what happened over the weekend with the draft. Just the points we wanted to get into and make sure we made them known and what our opinions were on the draft in general. But that's gonna end it for today. Don't forget we will be doing our regular episode 5 on this Thursday, recapping any NBA, of course, NFL, maybe some hockey, and then obviously baseball too. So make sure you guys tune into that on Thursday. Other than that, that's it for us. You guys have a good day and peace.
All right, see ya. Go.